I am a thistle sifter. I have a sieve of unsifted thistles and a sieve of sifted thistles because I am a thistle sifter. Hello, my name is Hannah Mae. I am a second year animation major with no minors, unfortunately. Yeah. Year 2, here we go. So what inspired me to animate one film in particular, The Prince of Egypt. I would be on the internet and I would see one of the main animators on that film was James Baxter. He's a prolific traditional animator, and he was the main character animator for the Pharaoh in that movie. And just seeing his pencil tests of just the perfectly organic movement that he had these lines making was amazing to me. I wanted to make things move like that. There's something stylistically about animation that really got me, and I'd always loved to draw, and I was like, why not do one better? Why not make the drawings move and talk to you and make you feel things that you may not even want to feel, but they're gonna make you feel them anyway. My favorite type of animation, most definitely, is traditional hand-drawn. I feel like two-dimensional animated films utilize style the best. Like, you draw any character any way you want, and you can model a character any way you want too. And I've always appreciated that. I've always liked it. I feel like people are more adventurous when it comes to 2D films than they are in 3D, at least. And there are some that go out there, like I remember The Book of Life, I really appreciated stylistically. To getting my degree, I have like an 18-step plan of what I want to do. I never realized how ambitious I was until rather recently. My dream job is to just go to any animation studio that produces like cartoons or movies or even video games and get a job just animating. I want to know how the corporate world of animation works, because once you know how the corporate world of animation works, you can start kind of working your way up the ladder. Kind of like Rebecca Sugar. Rebecca Sugar is the creator of Steven Universe on Cartoon Network, and she started, I'm not sure if she started, but like she went to Cal Arts, she was working on Adventure Time as just an animator and character artist, and then from there she managed to work her way up and pioneer her own show. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to really get how the world of animation works. I want to know exactly what goes into making a movie or a show, and then I want to create my own. My main goal for animation is that it's always frustrated me more than anything else how limited animation is and how it always has been. Because despite animation can literally do anything, any type of animation, you can mix them all together, and some shows do that, but people still kind of limit it to family-friendly media, like every Disney movie ever made. Raunchy adult comedies, those are like the only mainstream forms of animation that you see, and it really makes me mad because I sit here and think like I'll be watching anything like a bad car commercial, and I'll be like, you know, this would be much better if it was animated, because you can do so many things and people just choose not to. And what I want to do is I kind of want to bring animation to the forefront of entertainment. I don't want it to be just sequestered to doing kids' movies. I don't want people to think of it as something that, oh, I don't want to watch that animated thing. It's probably a kid's show. Or like, I want to see hard-hitting adult dramas that are completely animated. Like, imagine if something like Game of Thrones was completely animated. It would look so amazing. Like, it looks amazing now, but they could do so much more, stylistically speaking, if they didn't just animate the dragons and the horses and some of the army scenes or the giants. If they animated everything, they could do so much with character design, and it would look so much better. And that's kind of what I want to make. I want to make adult shows that really make you think. I want animated media to be utilized in a better way, in a more diverse way. And I want to make that hard-hitting adult dramas that touch on issues that kids shows, that's kind of taboo to touch on in kids shows, or in raunchy adult comedies that nobody really talks about. What do I think the future holds for animation? I think really it only has room to go up from here, because animation started out as something as despite being inherently limitless, it started as something that was rather limited to shorts because it was so expensive and new, and now that people are really starting to get the hang of it, it's used in so many things. Jobs for animators, of course you can, depending on which kind that you specialize in, because usually people specialize. You can be a straight up animator, for any of the types of animation. A lot of people specialize in either traditional hand-drawn or stop motion or 3D are the most current ones if you're looking to go to a studio. You could be a storyboard artist because animation programs cover each step of animation. So you can be specifically in charge of storyboards for a cartoon or a movie. You can do character design and concept art. A lot of people get hired at Disney to do that, just to legit sit there and just draw ideas for characters that they need for movies over and over and over again. For three-dimensional animation, you can be an animator, a rigger, a lighting specialist, a modeler. Other majors can be incorporated into animation as well. Like there are people for three-dimensionally animated films who sit in a studio with clay and model all of the characters physically from clay before they are sent to the modelers in the studio, the 3D modelers. There's also like writing and directing and all of like the traditional film roles seen in animated films and things like that. Beginners need to know a lot about animation. And there are like a lot of people really misjudge what goes into animation, because when I was a little kid, I used to think when I was watching the 101 Dalmatians that they would gather all of the drawn people and they would film it. But of course that's not what happens. It involves, I'd say, a ton more work than just doing a live action film. And especially 3D animation, people are just like, oh yeah, it's just, you move the things around in the program. No, it involves an astronomical amount of work. And so many people, like if you look at the credits on Moana, like the big film, they have 16 different people for one tiny section just involving the water. DSU's program, the reason I came to this school is because I was looking at the top 100 animation schools in the country and seeing which ones were the cheapest, which ones were the closest to where I currently lived. To where I lived at the time, which was Rapid City, South Dakota. And I was floored to find that there was a program in-state that was cheap. And I was like, really? Dakota State has an animation program? There's one in South Dakota? Like, you'd think that they'd all be on the west or the east coast. And so far, especially getting to work with the professors who have worked in the field, who are experienced in this, it's very uplifting, actually. Because I thought I would just be like, I'll try with what I'm given. But really, there are a lot of people who know what they're talking about when in this program. Like, I feel like I'm learning. I know how animations are made. Now I can actually talk coherently about animation, which a year ago I couldn't do that, which is very interesting, very cool.